doing the last session of the day, you never know what you're going to get. So I want it to be really informal, ask questions. I want you to leave the session thinking like, wow, I could go back and implement this into my classroom tomorrow or the end of the week if needed. So the title is Student-Driven Digital Portfolios in Elementary. Oh yeah? My name is Susan Naylorts. I'm the Tech Integrationist at Pocahontas Area District. We are located in Northwest Iowa, and my district is about 800 students. So I'm just doing this with my elementary at this point in time, which is about 350 students. So, kind of sharing our journey. We are using an app called Seesaw. Is anybody familiar with Seesaw? Okay, so you can help me be my voice. Are you using it or just delving into it?
Just dabbling. I wanted to see how it really works.
Okay. So I was supposed to bring another teacher with me, but she kind of had some emergency stuff going on. So I will show you a lot of examples, and again, feel free to add some of your own, those of you that are actually using it. So my vision as a tech integrationist was to get digital portfolios really school-wide. And I know as educators, you know the value of student reflection, and I think it really tied into the keynote for me this morning is that, Ramsey, kind of took three different sections, three different pieces of his life and kind of was reflecting back on his practice of teaching. And I think that's powerful for us as teachers to let kids tell us what they know or don't know, give them a voice, but then also for students to be able to model their learning. Our kids are doing such amazing things, and if we can just somehow capture that from year to year to year, and then let them build on that, and then let them show growth as parents to see that growth, as teachers. So I think this is a piece of software or app that if you don't know about, I think you're going to really like it, and if you do know about it, you can kind of help me kind of promote it. So it's Seesaw Learning Journal. It's both app and web-based. So my prep through second grade classes are on iPads, and my 3 through 6th grade have Chromebooks. So the Chromebooks is a new thing for us, doing that this year, but it works just exactly the same. So kind of giving you just an overview, so I'm kind of doing what teachers aren't supposed to do, is front-loading it, but I feel like I have to front-load a little bit, then I promise I'll delve in, and because the most important part to me is that you're walking away knowing exactly how this piece of software works, or app. So it's a student-driven digital portfolio that empowers students to create, capture, and share what they're learning at school. And it's both app-based and web-based. Simplifies classroom workflow by collecting and organizing all students' digital and physical work in one place. And as a teacher, you get tons and tons of paperwork. So instead of having kids turn in all their things, have them take a picture of it, give them a voice, let them talk about it, and you can have it all in one space under their name. So you're not constantly looking for all of those papers. It engages parents. I think this is the piece that really intrigued me, not completely the most, but a lot. I wanted to bridge the gap between home and school. I'm sure all of you have children like I do, and I ask my kids, what did you do in school today? Nothing. Really, you did nothing all day? I don't believe that. So this particular program allows parents within 5 minutes time to connect to their students or their child's journal, and as soon as the teacher approves a post, and if I was hooked to my child's journal, I would get a text message saying my child has posted, and I can see exactly what they were doing. I can comment back with both voice and just text or liking it. So I think that's huge. And that has really sold our district and our parents into buying into the concept of digital portfolios, because the parents want to know what's going on in the classroom. And it's just a window for them to see exactly what's going on. Okay, like I said before, it is on all platforms. It actually just came out on Google Play in August, for those of you who have the Samsung tablets, but it is up and running on all of those. There are awesome resources, curricular ideas on the Seesaw website, and this presentation is in my resources with all those links as well. There is the classroom app for the students, and then there is the parent side, and we'll talk about both of those as we go on. So why should you try Seesaw? You know, you've heard these probably 100 times over, but honestly, those of you that have done it, setting up your class takes how long? 5 minutes, okay? So from a teacher standpoint, it's not very long. 5 minutes, 10 minutes of time is all it really takes to get everything set up. So it's super, super easy. It is a student-driven digital software portfolio app. So students are doing the work. You are not doing the work as a teacher. Let the students do it. You're just looking at their posts, commenting, approving, etc. It really needs to be self-sufficient in your classroom. And kids as old as 5 are more than capable of doing it because we've got our kindergarten kids who are actually, who are doing it. No more figuring out which iPad or computer a student's work is saved on, so that's huge. We're not one-to-one iPads. We have 4 iPads per classroom, but then we have a cart of 30. So iPads are flying to different classrooms all the time. So when you have something on one camera roll, you don't know which camera roll it was on, so this eliminates all of that, whose work is where. They just upload it right to their portfolio, and it's all good. Students are eager to capture their learning and share what excites them. And you'll see that in some of the things that I share. Kids are excited to share and have a voice of what they are doing. And then that parent connection again is huge. We have parents, I have a couple of classes that aren't on yet just because I can't get to every classroom because I've been kind of busy. But parents are saying, well, when are we going to get on? So parents are talking to parents, and as you know, word of mouth is huge. So it's kind of like a little jealousy thing. Well, I can see my kids' stuff, but I can't see these kids' stuff. So that's kind of neat to see too, that parents are asking for it. If you're ever concerned about it being safe, it is 100% safe. So Seesaw has the Student Privacy Pledge, so anything that's uploaded is 100% safe. Nobody else is going to see it. Each child will get a special code that they take home that their parents can then get on to the parent account. The parents, of course, can then share it with grandparents, aunts and uncles, things like that. But you have an option when we get in and kind of see the commands that you can approve or not approve who is seeing that child's journal. So how does it work? It's kind of a 4-step process, and then I'll kind of unplug this, and then we'll actually get into Seesaw. So teachers are going to create a class, add their students. Each student gets their own individual portfolio. And then this is where the magic happens. The students take ownership. They add their artifacts. They capture their learning. They either draw about it, they talk about it, they videotape. There's a notes section. They can go to websites, all sorts of things that they're going to capture their learning in their journal. And then it goes back to the teacher. Then it's going to be kind of housed where the teacher has to approve it before it then goes to the parent. Okay, so nothing will go out of your room or out of Seesaw unless you say approve. So I really like that feature. And then you can have parents comment or not comment. I mean, that's kind of a preferential thing for you guys, whether or not how much control do you want parents to be able to have once they see the kids' stuff. And then over time, Seesaw builds an organized digital portfolio of each student's learning. So everything I'm going to show you, the first part is 100% free. This last part, Seesaw came out with a school account. And we just got the school account probably in August. So what the school account does that the regular account doesn't do is that it's going to keep their journal over time. So if you just go get the app right now and do it for a year, it's great. But then as a child moves from 2nd grade to 3rd grade, then all that 2nd grade work is not going to follow them. But with the school account, then it will follow them from year to year. So that was the powerful piece for us, is that I wanted kids to be able to to go back and look at their learning and add to it, show growth over time. But we'll talk about the school account here in a little bit. Okay, so now, any questions so far? Anybody who's using it, anything to add on that? Okay, so I'm just going to go then to the app. My app looks a little bit different. It says Seesaw Beta. I am a Seesaw ambassador, so they just came out with a new feature in Seesaw. So I thought, well, why not show you guys the new feature, which will be coming out shortly. So you're going to put on the teacher hat. So when you click on the app, this is what you get. So you're just going to say, I'm a teacher. And then you're just going to sign in. So I just created a class for the iTech conference. So I just randomly made up some students. So you guys hopefully are going to be some of my students here. So if you're going to, I'm just going to kind of briefly go through the setup process. So if you were going to set up a class, you would just choose Manage Class, and then you would choose New Class, but since I already have one, you can change the name there. And the grade level, you can choose what grade level it is. I just choose Other, since we're at the conference. And then Manage Teachers. I really like this feature. In Seesaw, I was looking for digital portfolios for a long time, and I believe Seesaw just really came into fruition about probably January, February. And I debated when I go back to my slideshow to keep one slide in there, because all the features that I was showing you in the slide coming up, they're not new features anymore, but I wanted to showcase to you that Seesaw is listening to teachers. And within the last 6 months, they have added so many new features to Seesaw that it's awesome. And one of the new features is the co-teacher, invited teacher. So my homeroom teachers have the class. But of course, our students go to art, they go to music, they go to PE, all those specials. So all you have to do is just invite those teachers, and then they can see everything that the classroom teacher can see. They can approve posts. We have Title I teachers who those kiddos go up there and do their thing and do some recording and uploading, and then that teacher can approve it versus the classroom teacher, because that work took place in the actual class. So you just invite the teacher, it'll send them an email, they accept, and then they're connected. And I can show you kind of that when I go into the admin part. Students, you can choose 2 different ways to log in. Since our prep through 2 is iPads, I chose to have them log in with the class code. So each teacher has printed out a special class code, QR code, that they just have hung around the room. And then the students just go up to the class, go up to it, scan it, and then they're automatically into their journal. My 3rd through 6th grade students have Google accounts. So they just log in with their Google email. So you can choose which way you want to do that. Manage students. This is where I added students at the bottom here. And you can be an animal or a character if you want to. So let's just say student C. I can change the name there, or you can pick an icon that you want them to be. So especially the younger kids like to be an animal, or that's how they can recognize. Maybe kindergartners can't read their name yet, but they know they are the turtle. So then they can find that. And then the parents. So I don't have any parents connected to this class, obviously, because I just made it up. But you can, this is a place where you can see how many of your students are, how many of your students' parents are connected, which I think is really cool. Because then if they're not connected, you can send reminders out, hey, you're really missing out. You should probably, sign up or whatever. So that has been a great kind of place for our teachers to see whose parents are connected and whose aren't. And then you can kind of just see down here, And again, you can choose. Do you want the students to be able to say, like their own comments, yes or no? And we have all that turned on, but again, you can turn any of those features off. New items require approval. I would say yes, but again, you as a classroom teacher, you have to decide that. Enable item editing, yes, if they post something, but not really approve it yet, but they can go back in and change it. And then the parent side here, you know, allow parent access, invite parents, manage parents, all that stuff you can do. Folders, that is a new feature. You can create folders for your classes, so then students can put whatever they're doing in the correct folder, so you're teaching them how to be organized. And you as a teacher then can go back to the calendar view, and if maybe you want to look at just the math activities that are in the portfolio, you can just click on the math folder and see all the math things, instead of have everything just out there. So it's really easy to create a new folder. You just pick a color, and we'll just call it language. So now we have a language folder. Okay, so that really is all the setup you have. Besides putting your kids in, turning the features on and off that you want, that's really all the part that you really have to worry about. Calendar view, again, I don't have anything on here, but I can show you when I get into some teachers' accounts where they are. But if I had things posted here, it would show. I could click on it, and then it would show everything that was posted or uploaded on the 12th. So that's kind of a cool thing to kind of see it all at one time. All right, so any questions on the teacher side? I know it was kind of fast, but
How long do parents have access to this?
they have access, okay. If you're doing the free account, parents have access to their child's journal for 30 days. After like 30 days, then I think it starts dropping off the least, and then the new stuff comes on. With the school account, then parents have unlimited access, and their journals carry from year to year. Parents can buy that for $9.99, and then they can see everything. So, you know, as a parent, I don't have little kids anymore, but I'm thinking $10, I would have purchased the app so I could have my kids' stuff year after year after year. But with the school account, that just comes part of it. Okay, so now I'm just going to sign out. And now we're going to go in as a student. So we're going to pretend that this is my little kids and they have to use the QR code. So this would be the code that would be in their classrooms, and all they got to do, they don't have to be very perfect about it, just scan it, and then the students or the class would show at the very top. So probably the primary thing that our kids use is the photo. So it's just taking a photo. So I'm just going to take it of you, lovely. You can see there it holds still, so it really isn't going to take it until the student is somewhat still. Then, if they happen to take it not the right direction, all you have to do is just click that to flip it. And then the microphone. This is the powerful piece to us because it's giving our kids a voice. They can tell us what they learned or what they did. So they just kind of, and we tell parents, it's not perfect yet. I mean, reflection is a hard thing to teach kids. The first time it's probably like, I colored this turtle. It looks really good. Okay, then you probably won't hear me, but a lot of times when I go into classrooms and I prompt kids, well, why did you color the turtle? You know, I give them prompts to kind of get them thinking a little bit deeper. Well, they probably studied the letter T in preschool. T for turtle, tell me the T sound. So just by doing that, hopefully gets them a little bit more engaged into what we really want them to say. Because I said, your parents aren't here. They didn't get to see your learning today. So if your parents are going to listen to this, what are some things that they would like to see or hear that you actually learned in class? And kids are, you know kids, they're more than willing to tell you, but some just need a little bit more prodding. So just to show you how the microphone works, it's going to count down. Thanks for coming to my session today. It's been a long day. Hopefully you gained a lot of new learning, and hopefully you will like Seesaw and maybe take it back to your classroom. So I did the recording. I just click on the check mark at the top. Now I haven't posted, I haven't uploaded it at all. So the next step is, and I think this is really powerful too, and I love when kids listen to it and then they're like, I don't like it. I think, oh my gosh, you know, you really don't like it. I mean, that's self-reflection. How cool is that? Because you want to make it better. You want to make it better. So then the kids can play it.
Thanks for coming to my session today. It's been a long day. Hopefully you gained a lot of new learning, and hopefully you will like Seesaw and maybe take it back to your classroom.
So if that's all good and fine, and that's all you want to do, you can click on the check mark at the top and then upload it. You can draw. Now this is the new part of Seesaw. That's the beta part. Before, all you could do was just draw. And you could draw on a blank screen. But if you have, like, maybe you're studying plants or something and you want the kids to label the parts of the plant, but the new feature that's in beta now is the recording. So like when you get the app today or tomorrow or next week, you won't see this yet. But you could record and then draw as you're recording. So I think that's a cool feature. But I'm going to clear that. And get back.
How long can you record?
I think you can record for 5 minutes. So it is quite a long time.
And you can pause and then go back to it
No, I don't think you can pause.
as demonstration.
Yes, I believe so. And then you can also type, add a caption. So I've recorded, I put some text on it. I think that's all good. I'm going to click on that. You really can't see it up there very much. It's that circle with the check mark. And this is where we talk about digital citizenship, because you can turn on where the kids can see our base portfolios, or you can turn them off. We choose to leave them on because it's a good teachable moment. Like, you're not supposed to go into other students' lockers without permission, so we don't want you going to other people's portfolios unless you have permission. But we do a lot of collaboration, so we want kids to be able to get into other students' portfolios and comment. But again, that's a teacher preference. So then the student would just pick, who am I? So we'll just say we are student A, and then again, click on that check mark, and then I got, okay, now the student has to think, now where does this fit into the curriculum? What did I showcase, and where does it tie in? So let's just say this was reading. And then it's going to actually upload. And you can see where it is in the reading folder, but it's waiting for approval. So nobody's seeing it until you as the teacher says, okay, I'm going to approve it, and now it will go out to parents, grandparents, whoever. And then you can like, you can comment as well on the student stuff. So you can use it as an assessment piece. I think my teachers are going to really use it during parent-teacher conferences. You know, especially reading fluency. You know, they're recording the kids reading now, but then 2 months from now, what's the improvement? What's the growth? That's what parents want to see. That's what they want to hear. They want to see they got, you know, you do dibbles or whatever the new fast training, is that the new thing now? You know, that's just a bunch of numbers, right? Well, let's let them hear and see what they're actually doing. And then, of course, each student would then have, you know, just their stuff in. So if we go to student D, of course, there's nothing there. So then over time, this is obviously going to grow a lot for everything that they put in there. Okay, so that was the picture. The video is just, you literally take a video, and then you can draw on the video, you can caption the video. The drawing is exactly what I just showed you, only with a blank screen. You could draw and, you know, label something. Camera roll, maybe you're gonna take this on a field trip. Took the iPads on a field trip, they got pictures on the camera roll. They can pull a picture from the camera roll into their journal and then do all those things we did before. Notes is just if maybe they want to write a story. They can do that. And then the link is just if they went to a website, the last website they were on in that iPad or that device, that URL is copied, and then they click on it, and then it would just paste in there. So then that website would be coming in their journal, and then they could talk about it, they could draw on that website. Maybe there's a bunch of vocabulary words in this passage they were reading on the internet. They could circle the words, their word walls or whatever. So I just think it's very powerful, different things it can do. It's very simple. I think it could be used, I mean, there are high schools around the nation that are using Seesaw. I'm not buying into it, at least my high school students anyway, but you can use it for that. I think it's more geared toward elementary, but I think it's very, very powerful, very simple, and most important, not very much work on your part. Let the students do the actual work. So now I'm going to go back, I'm going to sign back out. I'm going to sign back in as a teacher, just so you can see what it looks like for the approval part. So you got a little dot up there that says how many needs to be approved, one unapproved item. I can click on it, and then if the student didn't meet my expectations as a teacher, I can say no. I'm not sending that out to your parents. You were messing around or whatever. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. But if you think it's okay, then you approve it. And then if that child's parent was connected, they would instantly get a text message on their phone, an email sent to their computer, and then of course they could look at it at their convenience. Questions on what the teacher does set up, then what the student does, and then it comes back to the teacher just for that approval part. So if I would go back to the calendar view, you would see now how I had one item under that date, and if I click on that, it would show up what that item was. And you can even go under the folders if you want to sort even more. I put it under reading, didn't I think? And then it would show just the reading items. Okay, so now I'm going to get back out again. Sorry that I keep getting in and out, in and out. But our district decided that they were going to buy in to the idea of getting the school account. So with that, you get a dashboard. So as the admin of Seesaw, whoever you would decide that to be in your district, you can see every class and what everything is doing. You can invite the principal. And you can just, it's just an overview of what's going on. So give me just a second here to get back into that. Okay, so with the school account, and I will say that it is $5 a seat per student. Unless you are a Seesaw ambassador, then it's $4. And there is a new cohort that they're asking for new Seesaw ambassadors. So if you're interested, just go to the Seesaw website, fill out this little form, and then there's some things you got to do. You got to present at X amount of conferences and promote Seesaw, but it's super, super easy. And they give you a cool sweatshirt, and they give you a bunch of swag. So come up here, and I don't want to take this swag home, so get the pencils and all that stuff before you leave. So I really like the school admin part of it. I really like the snapshot. So like this week in your school, this shows me 11 new items. We had math tested last week, so that's why it was kind of low key. 3 comments, 2 new likes, and 8 parents visited. So I have no idea what this is, but it's from pre-K. It's from a preschooler.
Tell me what your TikTok game is all about. And it likes to play, and it likes to ride a bike.
What else does he like to do?
So the teacher's
Anything
prompting, which is
Play.
fine.
Lots of playing, huh? What's his favorite thing to play?
Monster trucks.
Cool.
Okay, it's my
Anything else you want to tell him
Yeah.
about him? Okay, thank you. Thanks for sharing.
Okay, so if I go to, I'm going to just go to the class list, and I'm just going to pick a pretty active teacher. So again, this gives me a snapshot. Who is using it? Okay? How many times have they posted last week? Or how many things have they uploaded? Items this month. Total items. How many students are on? How many parents are connected? So you can see that some are connected more than others. This is almost half. But 2 out of 29, Mr. Buckhold needs to get on the ball here, doesn't he? And get more of his parents connected. But again, this is just all new. I mean, the last month or so, we got this account set up, and they're just learning how to do it. So over time, by Christmas, that should be flooded with a ton of stuff. But let's pick Mrs. Meyer's first grade class here. And I'm just picking a student, Danny Cook. Her mom actually is a teacher, but I know she's got her aunt connected. So you can see how they are responding. And these are the people that have seen it. They're responding to it. Let's see where.
I like strawberries, cucumbers, apples, watermelon, grapes, and bananas. I like them. They are awesome. And I like crackers. But it is not a healthy snack, so you are not supposed to eat too much. So I do not.
So it must have been studying health or something, I don't know. This one, she did a story. You can see all the comments. That's the cutest story I've ever heard. You are amazing.
I went to Steamboat, Colorado. I took a train to get there and had a yummy breakfast. It was fun riding on the train. I got to see my cousins, my aunt, and my uncle. When I got to Colorado, it was fun because I got to hold my new baby cousin. While I was in Steamboat, I went snow skiing and I went tubing. It was really fun. I also went ice skating. My trip to Steamboat, Colorado was awesome.
So you can see the background voice. It's happening right in their classroom. I mean, you're not going to send kindergartners and first graders probably out in the hall without supervision. So I think that's okay. That it is, you're hearing that background activity going on from the actual classroom teacher. These kids are just going to a place in their room and doing this on their own. And that was Toontastic, if you're familiar for that. So that was kind of a mashup. They did that on their iPad, and then they just, that camera roll option, they just loaded that from the camera roll into Seesaw. And there are tons of examples. I mean, from 5th grade, 4th grade, but I don't want to bore you. I think you kind of got the idea. I think this guy's
Danny Cook, what do you see? I see a monkey
chatter.
swinging by me.
I think the curricular possibilities are endless. If you can dream it, the kids will do it. Let them showcase anything and everything that they want to in Seesaw. So those of you that have used it, what have your kids shared?
I'm just dabbling with it and ready to sell it to teachers.
Okay.
Super excited about it though.
Good.
Just wondering about some of the ins and outs, like how do the web tools get uploaded? Well, from the camera roll, that was one of my questions.
Right. Yep.
We've taken pictures of something, if they made something cool, Block Center, they took a picture of it. We've also used you can scan, like I as a teacher can scan something in and the kids can write and draw on it. So rather than having to make a paper copy, it saves paper, they can write on it in the app and just save it there. Then I can see it and their parents can see it.
Right. So I know my 6th grade teacher, we had homecoming a couple weeks ago and they had dress up days. So she took a bunch of pictures on her camera, uploaded them to her computer, uploaded it as going in as a teacher account, just chose everyone, tagged them, and then the same picture went out to the 30 kids in her class, and then each of them could reflect or do a writing piece based on that one picture. So the teacher can use it to send out stuff as well. Let's see.
When do students usually see the comments? Especially with a classroom that shares just a few iPads.
I would say our
Just the
students,
next
just the
time
next
they're-
day, they have iPads every day, so
Okay.
they're on it every day, so the next time they're on it, that's the first thing they're doing is they're going into Seesaw to see if mom or dad saw it. And if mom and dad didn't see it,
They'll mention.
they'll be saying, why didn't you see my stuff? Which again, I think that's powerful, opening up that communication piece between home and school. I was talking about I turned the editing item on. So kids can do this too. If they don't like it, they can delete it. They can edit it and you can go back and record. Edit people, that's if you want to tag, let's say Danny did it with a group, then you'd obviously want it to go in Danny's folder and then Susie's folder and Johnny's portfolio. So then you can tag multiple people if it was a group project as well, so they're all getting the same thing. Yeah, so I don't know. I just am in love with Seesaw. It's just a perfect fit for our district and kind of what my vision is for kids. And the selling point for me was that parent connection. And it was simple. The teachers weren't like, oh my gosh, I have to do all this. It's like, no. I went in, I showed the kids, especially the 4th through 6th grade. It took one class period, and then they're up and running. Now, kindergarten and preschool, that's a little bit more, kind of that reinforcement on exactly what to do. But if you take the time now to do it, then you're going to get some great rewards later on. You drive the reflection. What do you want your kids to say? If you want them to say more, then you're going to have to prompt them and, comment back. Well, that was good, really good, but can you tell me a little bit more about this? And then maybe they'll go back and edit it and then redo it again.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so you said for the school-wide, you said $5 per student?
Yes.
And that's annually, each year?
Yes, that's annually.
And then all of their, like, whatever they did in 1st grade would stay on there, and
Yes.
they can add to it in 2nd grade and 3rd grade? and
Right. So if you got the school account, if you have an information management system, like we have Infinite Campus, so all I did is Seesaw gave me like 6 fields they needed. So I pulled an ad hoc down from Infinite Campus and then sent the data to Seesaw. They created all of our students from that data in all of our classes. I did none of that. And then they just said, your account's ready to go, and there it was. So they do all of that back-end stuff for you. And they're very easy to contact. There's their website's phenomenal. There are a ton of lesson ideas if you need any. I don't think you need any, but if you did, there are a ton of ideas on that Seesaw site.
What do you typically see in different grade levels as you go in and out of different classrooms? What do typical grade levels tend to put on theirs?
Well, like I said, they're just starting to do it. I would say the easiest outcome right now has been tied to the language.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look at 4th grade. Let me see. Oops. Let me see here. Cancel. to second page here. Well, Mr. Bowers, he's a fourth grade science teacher. He just did something, but they haven't uploaded yet. It was like a science experiment. So they captured their experiment through video and reflection. So, you know, I would say most of it's just tied right now to probably language stuff, but again, it's just that mindset of getting the kids to be able to take their devices to their art class or other things and being able to do it. Thoughts, questions? Anything else you want to ask me?
Is the scanner built into Seesaw, the QR code scanner?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's just a printout. You just go under manage class, and then you would print out a class code. And then if you want, you can invite parents through email or get a class handout. The first time we did it, we used a class handout. So then if you got 30 kids in your class, you're going to get 30 individual sheets, but each sheet's going to have the student's name at the top and then a QR code. That's not the same QR code to sign into the class. It's a QR code unique to that child. And then with like 4 or 5 steps for the parent to connect. But again, it's less than 5 minutes for parents to connect. And then they can share that QR code with grandparents, aunts, uncles, whatever. But again, you can approve who is connected. I mean, I don't know who would randomly pick up a QR code if you weren't related to that child, but that is that safety net. If you're not quite sure, you can always go back to the parent and say, now, do you know so-and-so? Is it okay that they're connected to your journal? So you have full control over any of that. I mean, if you want this, I mean, you could play, if you got the app, you could scan the QR code and get in and do something if you want to, but I know it's the end of the day and it's been a long day and you want to get the heck out of here. That's totally fine too. But please take some stuff, even if you're kind of remotely interested. I don't want to take it back. There's a little, kind of an intro card. That's kind of a quick little reference card is good. There's pens, pencils, stickers, anything else. But I would try to answer any question that you may have, but I don't know all the answers, but it's definitely a great fit for our school anyway.
So does your district pay for each of the children to have the account, or do you first wait for parents?
No, we pay for it.
You do.
We do. And I thought,